We at Caribou Software offer a range of solutions to manage inbound and outbound material transactions, contracts, inventory, and reporting. One of these solutions is Caribou's Log Scaler, a modern, field-ready scaling system designed for speed, accuracy, and seamless integration. It works hand in hand with our back-office cutting-edge system, but it's also flexible enough to export data for use with whatever systems you currently place. The log scaler runs on rugged handheld devices, namely models like the TSC 510 or Juniper Archer, built for field use in cold, wet, or even muddy environments. These devices run on Android OS, making them responsive, portable, and familiar to most users. Each device comes with a physical keyboard that makes numeric entry fast and accurate even with gloves on. Keys on the keyboard are configurable and you can use them as quick keys, letting you assign your most used actions to a single key press. For example, H could default hemlock as a species, F2 could save a log and retain all the information from the previous. Once again, these are all configurable to your needs, and this can dramatically speed up scaling and reduces repetitive typing. The process begins with entering what we call the header load. When starting a load, you capture the ticket number, contract, job, or tract, however you call it, buyer-seller details, load type, whether it's purchase, sale, or transfer, and defaults can be set up for recurring jobs, so common fields autofill, cutting down on keystrokes and reducing errors. When going to enter a new load header, you can enter in the ticket number, the log source, the date, the mill, the rate sheet, which is used for a price lookup for the log that can be driven off the grade and species combinations, and this is an optional feature. We can choose the scaling rule, the driver, and the trucker. Keep in mind that the load header entry screen is configurable, so we can add or remove or change any labels that we see here. Once the header load is entered, the scaler can enter the individual log breakdown. Each log entry can include length, diameter, species, grade. The app also adapts to different scaling rules like Doyle or Scribner for East and West, for example, so you can match the standards used in your region. When measuring and entering MBF, you can even choose whether to keep or drop trailing zeros, giving you control over how the results are displayed without changing the underlying calculations. You can also make deductions for different types of defects. We configured this log entry screen to have species, length, small diameter, grade, log tag, dec, gross, and net scale. We have deductions and the prices down at the bottom. So the organization is such that you can put the entries in different orders. You can also set up defaults for the fields. For example, I have a default rule of 8 feet bolts for the length, so the log length always defaults to 8. Let's enter a hard maple log. I'll hit my tab, go to my length. I can change that, but I'm good with 8, and I'll go to my diameter and set it to 12. I have my keyboard set up for 2 as number 2 grade. If you keep up with decs, the app can optionally do a lookup on decs based on species and grade. What it's done in the background is, it notices we have a hard maple number 2. That dec, SHM2, means sawlog hard maple 2, and the dec autofills to that. It's also done a lookup from the prices based on the price list we selected on the load header. So it's $150 per 1,000, and that gives me a value of $6. And we then see over on the right an average. So with 3 keystrokes, I'm basically done. If, say, I had another log that was identical, an option for repeat on the top right is there, and the quick key is F4. So I hit F4, and in the top left you can see I now have log 2 of 2, and it saved my first entry. If you tag logs, every grade can be marked as requiring a tag or not. And I have this one set up so that it's a veneer grade that requires tags. The log scaler app also handles deducts. On the deduct screen, we can handle deductions by length, diameter, pi, or square. Once entered, the system can generate detailed log listings, professional PDF reports that outline the lengths, diameters, grades, species, and any deductions. You can also control how the screens are laid out. Entry fields can be reordered, renamed, or hidden entirely. Let's look at the flow of data. Office staff sets up contracts, species, and product data all on the back office computer. This setup data is sent to the handheld. The scaler then enters loads and log data in the field. Then, the loads and logs are returned to the computer for processing, reporting, and payment. Quick side note. If you utilize Caribou's weight scale software, which allows you to capture the weights of outbound and inbound trucks of lumber, the load ticket can initially be entered into that system, and you can have the logs entered from the devices attach themselves to the appropriate load. This closed loop keeps all users working from the same data information. Handhelds can store thousands of logs, but over time you may want to clean up older data. The system allows you to purge older loads, for example after several months, while retaining full records in the Office database. So, the next-gen log scaler is built to keep your operation moving. It's fast, it's adaptable, and it's proven in real-world logging conditions, giving you accurate data from the field to the office with minimal hassle.